Hi guys, it's Amber. I am coming to you from our beautiful and beloved studio, and I had this crazy idea last night that I could do a live video on Facebook of our yoga class that we had this morning. And so I picked out a spot that I thought would be fine, there would be nobody blocking it, and all that, and set up. But then this morning we ended up having a completely full class, so there was just no way to really film the class without filming everybody's dog behind them, and that's not okay. So I decided that I would just stop the video recording and then do another one for you guys. And if you guys like this today, maybe it's something we can start doing once a week where we do a Facebook Live yoga class. That would be so fun. So I am the founder of Beautiful and Beloved. Beautiful and Beloved is a ministry that believes in, first and foremost, just redemption and freedom. And so what we're going to do for today is just about finding freedom and wholeness in our bodies as we worship Jesus through the modality of yoga. Also, we have a shop. We sell things made by survivors of human trafficking, empowering men and women to just get free and stay free all over the world. If you're interested in shopping any of those products, or if you're interested in making a donation to the Beautiful and Beloved Ministry, you can click the Shop Now button, or you can also download our app in the App Store, Beautiful and Beloved. Just search that in the App Store, and then we're going to upload all these yoga videos there. We have some teaching videos about living beautiful and beloved, and stuff like that. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. There's a big train going by my house right now, so if it's super loud, or my kids walking in, or anything like that, you guys are going to give me grace. All right. So we're just going to start with our eyes closed and our legs crossed. So we're just going to pay attention to our breath for the first part of this practice. As you inhale, I want you to fill your belly with oxygen. And as you exhale, I want you to wring out every last bit of that oxygen from your lungs. Each inhale should get a bit deeper, and each exhale should be a bit longer. When you come to the very end of your exhale, and you just hold that for a minute till you get to a point of just mild desperation, where you feel just desperate for your next breath. And as you inhale and fill your belly, I want you to fill yourself to the point of being so full that you don't think you can take another breath in, and then exhale at that point of just need. We're bringing God our need today. With everything that's been going on in the world, just this last week, but in the last few months, just the evil that we've seen, and the mistakes that are being made, and the lies that are being told, and the fear that is rampant. It's justified, and it's not okay, the things that are happening in the world. There's evil everywhere you look, and if you're like me, then your reaction is to just try and curl up in a ball, to stop reading the news, to stop looking at the stories, to focus on your family, and to just block out all the things that are so hurtful to our hearts. But I don't think that that is really what God is calling us to as believers. The verse we're going to focus on today is in 1 Corinthians, and it says, "Be on guard, stand firm in your faith, be courageous, be strong, and do everything with love." So during our practice today, we're going to open our hearts. We're going to focus on being strong and courageous and doing all things with love. Let's go ahead and come to all fours. We're going to do cat-cow. So we're going to go ahead and, as we inhale, go ahead and drop your belly towards your mat. Lift your head up to the sky. And then as you exhale, bring all that air out of your belly. Pull belly button to spine, chin to chest. Go ahead and do this with your own breath. With every cat, I want you to think about inhaling God's strength. And as you exhale in your cat, I want you to think about letting go of anything that you perceive as weakness within yourself. Inhale and ask God to make you courageous. And as you exhale, exhale any fear that you have inside of you. And as you inhale, I want you to think about standing firm in your faith. And as you exhale, I want you to exhale any doubt that you have about God's goodness. Good job. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and leave those sits bones right up to the air. You're going to walk your hands down and just melt your chest into the mat. You can you can rest your forehead on the mat, or you can rest your chin and your nose on the mat, however you want to. Your shoulder blades are coming back and down. Your heart is open wide. Your chest is just melting into that mat. Feels actually really so good. Just breathe here for a minute while this train goes by. When you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands back up. You're all on all fours. Try to curl your toes under, come up to plank. From plank, we're going to chaturanga. Chaturanga arms, the eyes of your elbows face the front of your mat. Bend those arms in at a 90-degree angle, chaturanga. Come forward and up to upward facing dog. Good job. Now roll over those toes back, downward facing dog. It's our first down dog, so you go ahead and walk that out. Move your knees, move your hips, however you gotta do it to feel this nice stretch, how nice it feels. Get your back body. Sure your shoulder blades are back and down. Your hips are right up in the air. From here, you're gonna go ahead and lift that right leg, keeping your hips parallel to the ground. Bring that right knee into your nose as you come forward and step that foot between your hands. We got a nice deep lunge here. From this base, we're going to drop that left knee and lift your arms up to the sky. Go ahead and roll your shoulder blades back and down. Take your gaze up. Give yourself a little back bend here. Good job. Bring those hands back down to either side of your foot. Press back up in that left leg. Step back for downward facing dog again. We're going to do the other side. So lift that left leg up. Hips are parallel to the ground. Bring that left leg, knee to nose. As you step between your hands. Good job. Nice deep lunge here. Drop that back knee, top of the toes on your mat. When you're ready, inhale, come all the way up. Good job. Make sure your hips are nice and even with one another. Your knee is coming straight up from your ankle. Your thighs are engaged. Roll those shoulders back and down and take your gaze up to the ceiling. Good job. And bring your hands back down either side of that foot. Press up from that back leg. Back for downward facing dog. Good work. Breathe here in down dog. You're ready, we're going to go ahead and flow this out. So come up and forward, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good job. From here, you can go ahead and step, jump, or float to the top of your mat. We're just going to hang out in this forward fold for a minute. Help yourself get nice and heavy in your head. Grab hold of opposite elbows. Do some swinging. Shake your head yes and no. That's awesome. On your next inhale, we're going to sweep our arms up and bend our legs like we're sitting in a chair. We're going to meet here in chair. Good job. Bring our arms out to cactus arms so we have a little bit of a chest opener, back bend here. Take some deep breaths. Good job. When you're ready, on your next exhale, go ahead and dive back forward, forward fold. Plant your hands down on your mat and step back, downward facing dog. Good job. We're going to lift our right leg again. Right leg high, hips even with the ground. As you come forward, bring that knee to our nose and foot between our hands. This time we're going to come up in a crescent so that back leg stays lifted. We're pressing energetically with our heel to the back of our mat. So we inhale, we're going to come all the way up for crescent. Go ahead and bring your hands down to heart center. And just find your space in this crescent. Your knees coming up over, directly out of your ankle. Your hips are parallel and square. And lift your pelvic floor, tighten your core, and find your strength right here in this body part. Right here in your trunk. From here, we're going to go ahead and lift those prayer hands nice and high. Drop them down between our shoulder blades. Get a nice back bend here. Good job. Bring your hands back up. Heart center. Good job. Go ahead and place those hands back down on your mat. Step back. Downward facing dog. We're going to do the other leg now. So left leg up. Between your hands. Good work. When you're ready, go ahead and come up for crescent. Find your space in this crescent. Find your strength. When you're ready, lift those prayer hands up overhead. Drop them behind your shoulder blades. And curve. Open that chest way up. Good job. Hands heart center. Bring them back down to the mat. Step all the way back downward facing dog. We're going to flow this out. So go ahead and come forward. Roll it back to downward facing dog. Jump, step, or float to the front of your mat. Good job. And from here, we're going to just really pull into this forward fold. So if you can take your peace fingers and wrap them around your great toe, pulling yourself forward. If you can't reach the floor, you can always reach back behind your calves and pull yourself forward. Just feel a deep, deep forward stretch here. You're ready, we're going to melt our heart to our thighs, bend our knees, swoop those arms up for chair. Good job. Breathe here. On your next exhale, we're going to forward fold down. We're going to step back, downward facing dog. One more time. That's a lot. There's like 17 more downward facing dog. Better get ready for it. All right. So from here, we're going to lift that right leg again. This time we're going to bend the right leg, heel to keister, open your hips nice and wide. If you have a wild thing in your practice, you go ahead and take it all the way back. Wild thing. Breathe here. back over. We're not going to drop that right leg. We're going to keep it lifted, three-legged dog. We're going to bring that right leg forward. Warrior one, your front leg, the knee comes right up out of your heel, your toes are pointed forward. You're nice and rooted in through that foot. Your back leg is bladed, toes are facing the long side of your mat, but you're still rooted in through the four corners of your feet. Your hips come forward. That's hard for you. You want to step out a little to the left with that back foot. So your hips can come forward. And keep our hands at heart center. We're in warrior one. It's a nice, strong pose, which helps us in our lesson today. We're asking God to make us strong, to make us courageous, to love His people well. From here, we're going to go ahead, take our hands to the small of our back, fingertips facing down, heels of our hands on the small of our back. And we're just going to take an arch to our warrior. Start with your head gazing up, shoulder blades roll back and down. Knit your ribs together by drawing your belly button to your spine. Good job. Go ahead and start bending at your waist, melting your chest forward over your thigh. We're going to interlace our fingers here and bring our shoulders up and over our heads. Down for a humble warrior. Breathe here. Go ahead on your next inhale, come back up. Warrior one. Good job, and we're going to go ahead and twist this warrior out. So take that left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Stack right chest on top of left, right rib cage on top of left rib cage. Take your gaze up to the sky as you open that heart space in a strong pose. All right, when you're ready, bring your hands back down to either side of that front foot. Turn the back heel and meet your legs back in downward facing dog. Time for the other side. So we're going to go ahead and lift our left leg up. Bend our knee, bringing our heel to our backside and opening up our hips. If you have a wild thing in your practice, go ahead and take it now. Good job. Go ahead and come back up. Three-legged dog. Bend knee to nose and step forward. Hands between your foot between your hands. Good job. On your next inhale, we're going to come up and we're going to be in warrior one. Remember, we're going to have our back foot bladed, toes facing the long edge of our mat. If you need to step that out to the right, to get your hips facing forward, that's fine. This is your practice. You do whatever you want in this practice. You can follow along with me. You can totally ignore me and just sit on your mat. Do what your body tells you to do. Don't let anything, don't push anything until it hurts. Too bad. All right, from here, go ahead and take our hands, the heels of our hands to the small of our back for some support. We're going to pull that belly button into your spine. Start with your head back, shoulders back, ribs knit together. Lift up pelvic floor for additional strength in your core. Good job. We're going to start bending forward at our waist. Melt your chest to your thigh. Interlace your fingers and pull those hands up. If this is too much for you in Humble Warrior, you can also just grab hold of your elbows back behind you. Good job. Go ahead and come back up, Warrior One. We're going to twist this out, so you're going to bring this right elbow to the opposite of your left knee, to the outside of your left knee. Stack that left rib cage on top of the right. Take your gaze up to the ceiling. Good job. Go ahead and bring your hands back down either side of your front foot. Front foot comes back to meet in a downward facing dog. Good work. We're going to flow this out, so I'm going to come forward, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Roll over those toes, downward facing dog. Good job. From here, you're going to go ahead and lift that right foot up again. We're going to bring the right knee in to meet the right wrist. We're going to step back and we're going to set ourselves up for Pigeon. Now in Pigeon, the closer your foot is to your body, the easier it's going to be. Not that Pigeon is an easy pose, but the easier it's going to be. So if you need more of a challenge, you can move that foot out, more of a 90-degree angle. It's going to be a tall Pigeon, so use our fingertips on either side of our hips. So focus on our primary line. Draw your skull back, your lobes over shoulders. Shoulders, blades, back and down. Ribs knit together, belly button to spine. Good job. If you're going to take this a step further, you can bend that back leg. Take your left arm, reach back to the outside, that left ankle. You go ahead, if you're ready, lift this right arm. If you want, you can go ahead and reach this right arm back and grab that foot too back. That is not my practice yet. Good job. And release that foot. Your hands back. Just going to go ahead, bend in our hips, remembering to continue to honor that primary line. Fold this Pigeon out. Just because it feels nice right here. Yoga should be about making you feel strong, also about making you feel nice. Allowing you to explore spaces meeting your body, allowing you to explore spaces where God is asking to move and work through you. Good job. Good, we come back up. We're going to come to standing on our knees. We're going to do a camel pose here. So for camel pose, we're going to go ahead and take the heels of our hands on the small of our back. Your fingers can either go down your back or they can come along the side. It's up to you. Whatever feels nice. Knees are about hip width apart. Your hips are directly over your knees. You're going to go ahead and start with your head, gazing up. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. Knit your ribs together by pulling your belly button to spine, like you're going over a beach ball. If you would like to here, you can lift that left arm up by your ear and bring it back around to grab for your heel. Your right hand can come to heart center, or it can come back as well. Make sure that your shoulders are nice and even with one another. One's not pulling way forward while the other arches back. You have lots of support here in your core for the lower back work you're doing. When you're ready, go ahead and use that hand back up. Windmill your arms back. Good job. We're going to bring our hands to the mat, push back, Downward facing dog. It's time for the other side. Lift that left leg up. Bring the left knee into the left wrist. Good job. Remember our primary line. Everything is nice and tight. We feel very strong here. If you're ready, go ahead and lift that back leg. Reach with your right hand to the outside of your ankle. Good job. If you want to go ahead and lift that left arm up, do that as well. That's it. All right, go ahead and drop that leg. Good job. All right, go ahead and take a fold of at our waist and lean forward. Go ahead and rest your forehead to the ground if you'd like to. If you'd like to put your hands down and rest your head on your hands. This nice folded forward. My music just went off. Good job. Take some deep breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to come back. Walk our hands back up. Pull your knee underneath you and stand up. Knees standing on your mat. Job, we're going to do camel pose again, this time with the other side. So bring those heels of your hands to the small of your back. You're ready, take your gaze up. Shoulder blades back and down, mid-ribs knit together. And a beautiful arch there. When you're ready, lift that right hand up next to your ear. And rotate back to find your heel. Your other hand can come to heart center, even out those shoulders, or it can also come up by your ear. Nice big heart opener here. Breathe deep and engage your core. You're ready to go ahead and windmill those arms back. And it's going to meet on all fours right here. Good job. Let's go ahead and take some cat-cows while we're here. Just kind of stretch out all that work that you've done. Good work. Alright, you need to grab a drink here. You can, or you go ahead and come up to standing position on our mat. Face the long side of your mat. As you stand on your mat, I just want you to think about your primary line. Think about your strength. Think about your love. Think about being courageous. Think about our intention that we set for this class at the beginning. Go ahead and step your feet nice and wide, toes pointing to the corners, the top corners of your mat. Make sure your sacrum is nice and tucked under eye. Make sure your sacrum is nice and tucked under that you're honoring that line, shoulder blades back and down, tummy to belly button to spine, ribs in together, and come on straight down to a nice goddess pose here. And bring your hands out to cactus if you'd like. You can leave them here at prayer. We're going to open our chest here, so we're going to take left hand, reach it around back behind you for your right thigh. And as you do that, come down with your right forearm to your right thigh. Open your chest nice and wide. Up to the ceiling, take your gaze up. Breathe here. Remember to keep your center of balance. Don't move over to the right. Keep yourself centered. Keep your tailbone tucked under. Don't stick your butt out. There you go. Ready? Your next inhale, come back. Exhale, center. Good job. We're going to do the other side now. So that right hand comes back over to the left thigh, left forearm to thigh. Take your gaze up. Your chest nice and open. Breathe here. Remember keeping your center. Now sticking that tailbone out. Inhale, come back, center, exhale, dig down deep into it. Good job. Just gonna breathe here. We're gonna hold this goddess pose for 1 minute. I know you guys are super excited about it. But you can do this. You can do hard things. When we're scared, we can be brave. When we feel overwhelmed, we can love. We can do all things in love. We can be a light in the world that's dark. We can bring beauty to brokenness. That's our calling. That's what God is asking of us. And that's where we're going to move here in this practice. Halfway there. And breathe. Now it hurts, you can do it. 5 more seconds. Good job. Go ahead and press up and take a bend in your legs all the way down. Touching the floor. Good work. Go ahead and keep those hands on the ground. Go ahead and grab for your ankles behind you. Pull yourself forward between your legs. So sorry. It's summertime and my kids are here. All right, so go ahead and stretch yourself nice and forward, nice and deep here. Should feel really good. You can walk your hands out in front of you. Take that stretch a little bit forward. Good job. I think you guys have earned a nice child's pose here. So if you guys come to your mat, you can either keep your knees together or spread them out wide, big toes together. Settle back to nice child's pose. Reach forward, rest your forehead on the mat. Just feel, geez, just how good a child's pose feels. Just feel how good that is. I love that in 1 Corinthians that we get a list of love in action. What love looks like. 1 Corinthians 13 says, love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It's humble, it's sacrificial, it's peaceful. Love rejoices in truth. That is love in action. What does your love look like? Is your love all of these things? Is your love patient and kind? I know that sometimes within our own families we can struggle with that kind of love, with patient love. He's like, all right, go ahead and come out from child's pose. We're just going to lay ourselves down on our mat. Bring your left cheek down and arms next to your sides. Take some deep breaths here. Our next pose is going to be locust pose. So interlace your fingers on the small of your back. And when you're ready, you can begin to press those knuckles back to the back of your mat as you lift your head up. Shine your heart to the front of the room when you're ready. If you'd like to add your legs, you can go ahead and lift your legs as well. Just breathe here in this locust pose. When you're ready, begin by dropping your legs and slowly rolling yourself back to your mat. This time put your right cheek down on the mat, arms at your side, and just take some breaths here. Our next pose is going to be bow pose. If you don't like bow pose and you'd like to just do a locust again, you can do that. So you can either go ahead and prepare for locust. If you're going to do bow, you're going to bend your knees, bringing those heels up to your rear. Reach with your hands to the outside of each ankle. And when you're ready, go ahead and kick those legs back to the back wall. Allowing you to pull your upper body up. You're going to be trying to bring those knees together. Keeping those thighs rotating in toward one another as you pose. When you're ready, go ahead and slowly let yourself come back down to the mat. All the way back down. Bring your hands under your shoulders, push yourself up, and come back to sitting on your mat. Because we've done a lot of back work, we're going to do some core work. Not going to lie to y'all, this is the third time I've done this series in less than 24 hours, so my boat pose is going to be a little rough, I think. And move any fleshies that you have away from your sits bones. Make sure those sits bones are rooted into the mat. You want to keep on your sits bones nice and tall, honoring that primary line without rolling back onto your tailbone and kind of rolling that back out. That is not what you want. So if you can only come this far without rolling back on that tailbone, and that's as far as you can come. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. You can go more, you can lift the arms, you can lift the legs. I cannot today. Go ahead and hold that for a few moments. It's not going to be long because I have no core strength left today, apparently. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be you. Bring your practice, whatever it looks like. It's going to be different on some days than it is on others. And that's fine. Then drop those legs, come back, and it's going to have you straighten those legs in front of you, flex those toes. We're going to be in staff pose. So make sure your skull is nice and strong with your earlobes over your shoulders, shoulders back and down, ribs knit together, belly button to spine, rooted in to your mat. Your hips are energetically rotating in toward each other. This is an active position that you're in here. Ready, inhale, lift our arms up. And as you exhale, fold over, keeping that straight line as long as possible. Down to touch your toes. Make sure you're not curving in, closing off your chest here. I want you to keep your chest nice, wide and open. If you need to grab a strap and wrap it around your balls of your feet to help you keep nice and open up top and still get a nice stretch, you can do that. Just breathe deep here. Now go ahead and walk your hands back up your leg. Take that right knee, bend it, lift that foot up, place it on the outside of your left knee. Left hand to the outside of right knee, right hand behind you. Give yourself a nice twist here. Make sure you're up on your sits bones. Both sits bones are rooted into the ground. That one's not lifting as you twist. All right, go ahead and straighten that leg back out, come back center. Gonna do the other knee now, left knee up, outside of right knee. We're gonna twist here. back to center. Place your hands behind your knees. You're just going to go ahead and walk yourself down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time, and you will be in final resting pose, which is the best, most important of all the yoga poses. It's where you let everything that you just worked for set inside your body. The intentions that we set and the work that God is doing in you, just lay there with your eyes closed and breathe deep. Our verse today was to 1 Corinthians 16, 13 and 14. Be on guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong, and do everything with love. And in 1 Corinthians 13, we get, they tell us what love is, what love looks like in action. They don't just say love everybody and then leave it at that and you're left to guess what love looks like. 1 Corinthians 13 tells us what love is and what love is not. And at the end, it tells you what love is always. And it says, love always protects. Love always trusts. Love always hopes. And most of all, love always perseveres. Let that be your mantra today. Let that be what you go into the world with this week. That love always protects. It always hopes. It always trusts. And it always perseveres. Let us be people who do everything with great love. That we would shine like cities on a hill for Jesus, who first loved us and gives us this great capacity to do all things with love. Thank you for letting me lead you today. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this practice. If this is something you would like to see happen once a week on this page, I would love to maybe start doing that. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your week.